First tonight, the United Nations Security Council has authorized the deployment of a multinational security force to Haiti. It's designed to help the Caribbean nation fight heavily armed gangs who've become increasingly powerful there. It's not yet clear, though, when the force will arrive or who, other than Kenya, will contribute to it. The Haitian foreign minister has described the deployment to his crisis-hit country as a glimmer of hope. Jean-Victor Genus said the UN Security Council vote was an expression of solidarity for a population in distress. After the vote, the deputy US ambassador to the UN outlined the purpose of the protection force.
This mission comes at the request of the Haitian government and Haitian civil society to address the insecurity and dire humanitarian crisis the country has faced for far too long. The deployment of this mission will help to support Haiti's critical near-term needs and to foster the security conditions necessary for the country to advance long-term stability. I'd like to thank Ecuador as the penholder for its tireless work. The resolution makes clear the MSS mission will operate in strict compliance with international law and include dedicated expertise in anti-gang operations, community-oriented policing, children and women's protection, and preventing and responding to sexual and gender-based violence. The MSS mission must take necessary action to ensure appropriate conduct and discipline and to prevent sexual exploitation and abuse.
The
vote on this text represents significant progress towards resolving the multidimensional crisis that Haiti is going through. It's a glimmer of hope for the people that have for too long been suffering the consequences of a difficult political, socio-economic, security and humanitarian situation.
Well, for more on this, let's bring in Arise Chief Correspondent John Cookson, who is monitoring developments from London. Good to see you, John. So finally, the UN votes to send a protection force to that violence-racked country that's been virtually taken over by armed criminal gangs. Why has it taken so long to get an international protection force approved? Because, I mean, Haiti made that request nearly a year ago.
Hey, Charles, good to see you. It's difficult to know. I think the United Nations has been somewhat preoccupied with other wars and conflicts and other issues affecting the world in general. You're right. Prime Minister Ariel Henry did ask for this mission a year ago. But, you know, it takes some time to get a multinational force together. You mentioned in the intro that it's unclear when they'll arrive and who will be part of that mission. We know that 1,000 Kenyan policemen will be involved. And the Kenyans out of Nairobi saying tonight that they expect to get boots on the ground early in the new year in January. Other countries thought to be considering offering to help are Jamaica, the Bahamas, Antigua and Barbuda, and the US will offer logistical help and some funding. I've seen estimates between $100 and $200 million. So this force is absolutely needed in Haiti, a country of 11 million people, which has suffered so long, going back decades really, from the gangs that propped up the Papadoc Duvalier regime back in the late 60s, early 70s. And one remembers the Tom Makut group, which is still very active today and controls so much of the life in Haiti, from power supplies to the bus services to all manner of elements of life in Haiti are in the hands of gangsters at the moment. So it's going to be a tough job for this multinational force. And I suspect it's the delay is something to do with the complexity of the operation that they face.
Well, you've rather answered some of the questions I had for you, but I'm really curious to know, John. I mean, this is really the big question, and you touched on it there. What's the scale of the challenge, and will this international protection force be able to break the grip of these armed gangs in Haiti?
Well, as an observer from the outside, it's going to be tough. A protection force was put in back in 2004, 2007 to do exactly the same thing, and that left mired in scandal, Charles. Peacekeepers managed to dump sewage into a river and cause a cholera outbreak, which led to 9,000 deaths. And there were allegations of sexual abuse also levied against the multinational force. That was the last time they were there, so it's not a great track record. Somehow they have to wrench control of all elements of life in Haiti back into the hands of the government, and that is going to take some tough action. We know that the Kenyans are adept at civil disturbances. I've been on the ground in Kenya in years past, and I've seen the robust way, you might say, that Kenyan police have dealt with protesters in Kenya. So there's certainly some track record there. But to avoid a bloodbath, which is one possibility, because the gangs are not going to give up what they've got very easily, is going to need some determination and an idea that security can be put back into the hands of this teetering government.
And John, you mentioned there in the course of your analysis the problems that previous UN forces have met or left behind, if you like, in Haiti. I wonder if this deployment, this latest deployment of such a UN force is controversial. I mean, I'm wondering if it's possible to gauge whether a majority of Haitians do support such a force.
I suspect that they do, because life is pretty intolerable at the moment. The Haitians over the years have been through so much. They're terrorized by these gangs. 200,000 people, Haitians, are displaced because of gang violence at the moment, Charles, and no doubt they want to go back to their homes. And it's a nation that has suffered so much over the years. One remembers the earthquake back in 2010 when 300,000 Haitians died, and some of the prisons collapsed, releasing more gang members back into the world. I mean, if ever a nation has suffered the hands of fate, Haiti certainly has, from natural disasters to unstable governments to gang terror. They certainly do, I'm sure, strive for a proper life and a safe life. And the foreign minister of Haiti saying this is a glimmer of hope for the Haitian people, and that would seem to be a reasonable assessment of the situation.
John, thanks very much indeed. John Cookson is Arise chief correspondent. He was talking to me there from London.